Few more calls and we'll get back to music. Jeremy in Daytona. Go ahead, Jeremy.
Eddie, I love you, man. Now, regardless of all that, this backing track scenario that you seem to go down, you got to realize, like, all these bands that you love and adore, I mean, whether it's Van Halen or U2, whoever it is, in 84 when you saw Van Halen, you don't think they were using tracks and stuff going on? Oh, you 812, you don't think they were using tracks then? Of course they were. Steven Tyler, one of the best singers in the world. You don't think he's got a harmonizer on 50% of the time? Of course he does. But it's not
Jeremy,
that bad.
are you talking about a vocal effect, or are you talking about people blatantly lip syncing to songs?
Wait, so I've heard you say a lot of times about, like, keyboards. I want to see a live band. If I pay for a live band, they got to be live. The thing is, if there's 4 dudes in the band and no keyboard player, just track the keys. That doesn't mean that
Jeremy, do you listen to me every day on 103?
Yes.
Okay, then you're only hearing a part of what you want to hear. Because, Jeremy, I've said 1,000,000 times, people got me all wrong on this. I've said 1,000,000 times, I got no problem if you got a keyboard part and you don't want to carry a keyboard player for the one part in the one song.
No
problem.
Song, but I'm talking about
no problem
for the whole time.
Yeah, well, for the whole tour, sure, no problem. What I got a huge problem with, and what tons of people are doing, are putting half of their show on a computer. Lead vocal, backing vocal, instruments. What am I paying for if I'm listening to a computer every night? What's the point?
You and I on the same page regarding vocals, all right? Half of Eddie's rig is a computer. Half of Edge's rig is a computer. But that's okay. But you would always say, one song I got no problem with. But what I'm saying is, if the band, and you always talk about on a national level, you got to realize there's local bands everywhere in the world providing people entertainment like you and I that are going out to see. If that band can't afford a keyboard player because they don't make enough from the venue or the restaurant, track the keys. The other 4 dudes are playing fine. Now, Black Crowes, I got you. Black Crowes is a live rock and roll badass band. No tracks. I wouldn't want to hear a freaking percussion track or keyboard track with Black Crowes. But you talking about U2, Aerosmith, Van Halen, all these people, they got a keyboard going almost the entire show.
Jeremy,
as well.
Jeremy, I appreciate your call. I got to run. I got more calls and I got to get back to stuff. But Jeremy, you're off base. First of all, you keep citing Aerosmith as an example. Aerosmith has a guy on stage playing keyboards and singing backing vocals. They introduce him. His name is Buck Johnson. You're using a bad example with Aerosmith, a band that the last few times they toured had additional musicians on the stage, including a keyboard player. Come on. You're talking about U2. Those are guitar effects. Nobody ever said anything about that. You're talking about a band running a track on one song because they don't want to carry a keyboard player. Never had a problem with that. But Jeremy, we got a huge, huge problem in live music where most of it is not live anymore. I hear about it every single day from the artists that are playing mostly live. You know how disheartening it is to be on a festival bill and go up there and sing your heart out. And then the band comes on after you is lip syncing. It's a computer. It sounds the same as playing the CD. And everyone says how great that band sounds. It's a computer. I would have sounded that way. I mean, this is all I keep saying is look at the world of pop music. It's all computers. It's all fake. Now, if everyone's cool with that, enjoy the rest of your life going to a live show and hearing a computer. If that makes you happy, great. I'm out. I won't do it. What's the point? The entire point of going to a live show is to hear the band play live. They're not playing live. Stay home and listen to the record and save yourselves $1,000. You can't put everything under the same umbrella. There's a difference between people using effects and whatever guitar effects and pedals and whatever. Nobody ever said that's a problem. There's a huge difference between, one keyboard part in a song. Who cares? And then there's a huge difference between a band going up to microphones that aren't even on because it's all piped in from a computer under the stage. That's a fucking problem. And there's a shit ton of bands doing it and you don't even know it. How do you look at your fans with a straight face and charge them hundreds or thousands of dollars to hear you play live when you're going through the motions and hearing a computer? If nobody has a problem with that, good for you, and say goodbye to live rock and roll as we know it. It's over. It's over. And that narrative of, everybody does it, bullshit. I just saw Rival Sons the other day. Unbelievable. 100% live. You guys are calling in about Sebastian Bach. He's as crazy about this as me. He wonders why he's up there singing his guts out every night when he could just fake it like so many others are doing. But he's got integrity. There's tons of bands that don't do it. And then there's bands that get accused of doing it who don't, like Def Leppard. And then there's bands that get all this credit for sounding great, and it's a recording. It's insanity. That's always been that way. Whatever part makes them wound up is the part that they omit the rest of what I said. And I'm actually in agreement with him on most of it. But I will never be in agreement. I would never go see a band if I know they're faking it. What's the point? So that means about half the bands on tour I don't go see. But that's okay because there's plenty others to see. There's a billion of them out there. And thankfully, there's still enough of them out that believe a live show should be live. I always say it all the time. It's hysterical to me that one of the most controversial statements I can make is that a live rock show should be live. Think about that. Think about that, how absurd that is. I'm radical. I'm crazy. I believe that if you pay your hard-earned money to hear a band play live, they should be playing live. I'm a maniac. What a concept.